everybody. How do you use the present perfect? How can we use this tense successfully? So let me talk about me just for a couple of minutes, okay? As some of you know, my name is Warren. I've taught English for just over 8 years now. I have lived in many countries. I've worked with Le Cercle de Langue since May 2021. And a fun fact for everyone, I have never hosted a webinar or conference before. So this is my first conference. I'm very happy to share this experience with you, and I'm very happy you're all here. Okay. So we can see 4 sentences over here. I've highlighted some as well. I've taught, I've lived, I've worked, I have never. What tense am I using here? The past simple or the present perfect? You can type your answers in the chat box, A or B. You can just type in here if you can see the chat box. Okay. I have one answer here, yes. Okay, excellent. Any more answers coming in? Good, okay, I think we see a consensus here. I think we see the letter B. So yep, everybody.
Sorry, how can we answer to the question?
Yes, there should be a chat box just at the bottom here. There'll be an icon. It looks like a screen almost. And it says chat underneath. Just typed here as well. Maybe the notification will come up. Do you see it, Sebastian?
No, sorry, I'm sorry, but I will find it. You can continue.
Somewhere at the bottom.
I have
you got it?
6 icons on the bottom of my screen.
Okay.
And this is the third one, that's it?
Yeah, and it looks like a screen or like a little speech bubble, okay, with a small bracket like this. If you click on that, you will see the chat. But if not, not a problem.
Okay. Well, I will find. Thank you.
Thanks, Sebastian. Okay.
Sorry.
Well, everybody, so yep, you got the answer correct. I have indeed used here the present perfect, okay? We have the subject, have or has, and past participle, okay? The structure might seem quite familiar to you French speakers, the passé composé. So, today's agenda, here's what I'm going to do for you, okay? I'm going to explain what's so special about the present perfect. I'm going to demonstrate some differences we have, some differences with the passé composé in French. I'm going to share 4 situations to help you use the present perfect successfully. And at the end, we're going to do a very short quiz, so pay attention, everyone. And I will answer any additional questions you have, okay? I will say this, if you have any questions at any point, please type them in the chat box and I will answer the questions a little bit later. Okay. So, are we all ready? Thumbs up?
Yes.
Superb. Thank you. So, what's so special about the present perfect? Now, I could talk about this tense all day, okay? But we have 30 minutes, so I'm going to condense. This is one of the most commonly used tenses in English. We use it all the time, to be honest, okay? The thing that's special about it is it links past events to the present. It makes them relevant in the present, okay? You could say there's a link or maybe a connection between the two, okay? When we talk about the present, or when we use the present perfect, there's no specific time with it, okay? Which can be quite different in French, but I'll explain a little bit more about that in just a moment, okay? And the last thing here It's a very versatile tense, okay? We can use it for a number of different situations, and I'm going to show you 4 of them today, okay? I realize the font is a little bit small here, but I'll do my best to explain everything here, okay? Some minor differences with le passé composé in French, okay? Now, I am learning French at the moment as well, so this has been an interesting journey for me as well, seeing the differences with English grammar and French grammar as well. So we can say le passé composé is used for completed events. I think we can all agree on that, okay? You can reference when the events or actions happened. Okay, it can be very precise, this tense. For example, hier, j'ai reçu ma certification d'anglais. Okay, so hier being yesterday. Okay, we've referenced when the event happened. Now, with the present perfect, we use it for completed events most of the time. However, you cannot say when exactly the event happened. This is an important difference we have here, okay? One could say, I've received my English certificate. Now notice here, we don't say yesterday, okay? If we do say yesterday, we need to use another tense, the past simple. I'll show you some extra examples on that later, okay? So here, fundamental difference, one can reference when the event happened using le passé composé, but not with the present perfect. The next point here, number 3. Le passé composé doesn't always link past events to the present. For example, j'ai mangé au restaurant ce samedi. Okay, so we can see here, I ate at the restaurant on Saturday. Okay, Saturday in the past. Okay, last weekend. But with the present perfect, we always link the past events to the present. Okay? For example, one could say, I've eaten at this restaurant. Let's imagine there's a restaurant here. So one could say, I've eaten at this restaurant 3 times in my life. Okay? So there is a connection there to the present. Okay? So there are many more differences with le passé composé, but I thought I should highlight these ones here. Okay? And as I say, if you have any questions, any comments, be sure to leave them in the chat box. Okay? So, the fun part. I'm going to share with you 4 situations in which we use the present perfect. Now, as I say, if you have any questions, any comments, if you even want to try and create your own sentences using the present perfect, please do so in the chat box, and I can give you feedback a little bit later on as well. Okay? So, let's take a look here. Reason number 1, or situation number 1. We use the present perfect to basically share new information on completed events that happened recently. Now, what do I mean by this? Imagine watching the news in English. For example, the BBC, CNN, whatever it might be, okay? I guarantee you the journalists and the newsreaders will be using this tense, okay? Their job is literally to share new information with the public, okay? We can use it in a more everyday context as well. If you want to share what's going on in your life with your family and friends, any new events, perhaps, we can also use this tense. Now, I've included a couple of examples here, if I can refer you to here. So this would be for news in general, right? So this week, I read this, the French government has ordered Apple to stop selling the iPhone 12. Okay. Radiation levels is my understanding of what's happened here. Perhaps you'll know more than me. Okay. Now, in this context here, one can see has is the auxiliary verb we have here. Ordered, regular verb of the past participle of order. The French government has ordered Apple to stop selling the iPhone 12. Now, this event is complete, but it is relevant in the present. It's new information. This is why we use this tense here. Okay. Okay. And I'm going to just interrupt very quickly there. I think someone's microphone is on. Can I just request everyone to keep their microphones off just for the time being? And yeah, we can have a little Q&A, I guess, at the end. Okay, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much, everyone. Okay. Okay, so a more everyday context to use the present perfect. Let's imagine you have been promoted at work. Okay. You want to tell your family, you want to tell your friends. One could say, I've been promoted at work, or I've got a new job, for example. It's new information, it's something new, therefore we use the present perfect. Now, an important distinction. I have mentioned this in the previous slide as well. Note, we cannot say when the event happened. If we say when, we must use the past simple. This is very important, okay? So in these cases here, notice how I've not mentioned yesterday or last week or last month, okay? We do not say when. Okay? So this is reason or situation number one, okay? To share new information on completed events that happened recently. Number two, I like this one personally. To talk about repeated actions or events, sorry, that should be or events, little typo there, my bad. Repeated actions or events that are finished but could happen again. Now, what do I mean by that? I'm going to share a personal example with you. I don't know if anyone lives in Paris here. My colleagues at Le Cercle de Langue, perhaps. But for me personally, I could say I have visited Paris 5 times in my life. Okay, there is a very good chance I will visit again. I love Paris personally. Okay, so I will most definitely visit again. But the point is here, there is a chance the event could happen again. Okay? Now, if the repeated action or event cannot happen again, we must use the past simple. Now, I've got a fun example here, okay? The English king, Henry VIII, got married 6 times. Now, I'm going to extend this question to you. You can write the answer in the chat box, okay? Why am I using the past simple here and not the present perfect? You can write your answer just in the chat box. The English king, Henry VIII, got married 6 times. Why the past simple and not the present perfect? Olivia's kindly shared an answer here. Yep, excellent. Any other answers? Okay, cool. Exactly, Mark, Olivia. Yes, really well done. Okay. So with this one here, he cannot get married again. He's dead, right? So in this case here, we would use the past simple. Now, the last time I checked, I'm very much alive. I could visit Paris again, okay? That's the difference there. Okay, well done, everyone. Thanks for your answers there. Now, I'm going to take you to number 3. We can also use the present perfect to talk about changes from the past to the present. Okay? Now, what do I mean by this? Okay? Let's take the example of air pollution. Okay, a very serious subject. Okay? The example I have here, air pollution in Europe hasn't decreased. I'm introducing a negative with the present perfect here. Has not, hasn't decreased, it has increased. Okay? So we can imagine here a little bit of context. Let's say from the year 1993 to 2023, air pollution increased. Okay? So we're describing a change from the past to the present. Now, once again, note here how we're not referencing a specific time. Okay? Air pollution in Europe hasn't decreased, it has increased. Okay? If you want to go for a more everyday example, I've had a haircut. What's the change? For example, yesterday my hair was long. Today it's, sorry, one more little thing there. Today it's short. Okay? Yesterday it was long, today it's short. Okay? So that's me describing a change once again. I've had a haircut. Okay? Now note with this one here, the completed event, it doesn't have to be recent, okay? In the first example, I'm describing 30 years ago till today, 1993 to today. The second example, yesterday to today. Okay, so it's any change, no matter when it happened, the change from the past to the present. Okay. Now, I'm going to share with you the last one here. This one's a little bit different to the rest. Okay, now bear with me. Situation 4, we can use to talk about incomplete events. Now, with the other situations I showed you, the events or the actions, they are complete already, okay? But in this case here, the incomplete actions, they started in the past and they continue to the present or future. Some typical examples here. You can use this to talk about your relationships, your career, perhaps, or maybe even where you live. For example, I could say, I've been married for 4 years. For example, right now, I'm still married. Okay, I plan on continuing to be married. Okay, so the action started in the past, continues to the present. Okay? With B, he has worked with Le Cercle de Langue since 2021. Let's imagine he is me for a minute, okay? So in this moment, I still work with Le Cercle de Langue, okay? Started in the past, continues to the present or future. We could even use this as a negative. They haven't lived in Canada for a long time. They've maybe lived here 2 days, 3 days, for example, okay? But the point is, started in the past, continued to the present as well, okay? Now, I see a hand going up. Is that Mark? I see a hand being raised. No? Maybe typing in the chat box. I'll give you a second. Okay. But for everyone else, feel free to contribute your own examples in the chat box. So for me, I could say I've lived in Montreal for a month. Okay. If you want to try and give your own examples in the chat box, please do. I can give you some feedback on that as well. Okay. Okay, so Mark has a question here. Okay. A and B are real. So I've learned at school with that since we always use the present perfect. Is it true? Okay. Mark has asked a really good question. I can answer this in 20 seconds for you. Okay. Mark has asked the difference between for and since. Okay. And we always use with the present perfect. It's 50% true. Okay. Since, yes, we always use since with the present perfect, okay? Or a perfect tense in general, okay? No exceptions to this rule. However, for we can use for any tense, okay? Absolutely any tense, okay? Since is for a specific starting point or a specific time. For duration, okay? Since, depuis, or pour, for example. Okay, so I hope that answers your question there, Mark. Sebastian, okay. Sebastian, I'll tell you what, I will answer your question at the end, okay? I've got a little quiz for you just now, okay? And then, yeah, I'll answer your question just at the end, okay? So, as I say, I hope you were all paying attention. We have 3 questions here. If everybody could just type their answers in the chat box, once again, that would be fabulous, okay? 3 questions. I'm being kind today, okay? So how many present perfect situations did I share with you today? Can you say when the action or event happened while using the present perfect? And in which situation do you not use the present perfect from the list? Okay, see some answers coming in here. Excellent. Sebastian's getting us started there. Good for you. Excellent. Okay, good. Okay. Thank you, Letitia, answering them all there. Thank you. Give you another 20 seconds, okay? Okay. So once again, how many present perfect situations did I share with you today? And can you say when the action or event happened while using the present perfect? And in which situation do you not use the present perfect? Thank you, Mark. Okay, so 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Everyone, thank you for your answers there. That was fabulous. I think everyone did very well there, I have to say. Yep, Mark, I see your correction. Yep. Okay, excellent. So let's take a look. You were all absolutely correct. I did share 4 situations with you today. Okay, so just a reminder to share new information. Okay, events that happened a short time ago. The second one, repeated events that might happen again. The third, changes from past to present. And the last one, events that are incomplete but continue to the present or future. Okay. And then, of course, the answer here, I'm very glad you got this correct. Yes, so we do not say when the action or event happened with the present perfect. Thank you for that. Okay. And D for the last one, pretty much the same question here. Okay. Bravo, everyone. Okay, so if you want to know more about the present perfect, if you want to work on some exercises, we do have some resources on the e-learning platform. We have an exercise on specifically the present perfect and an exercise on the past simple versus the present perfect, when you use one, when you use the other. Okay. So thank you so much for watching. Okay, I really appreciate it. It's been wonderful having you here. We've got a few minutes left for some questions. I'm going to take Mark, I think it was Sebastian's question before. A and B are really strange. I would understand the contrary means it's finished now. Okay, so I'm just going to type this here. Okay.
Yes, so, thank you. Thank you very much. In fact, I've been married for 5 years. Yep. In fact, if I had to translate this, I would. I thought that I'm not married again, and it's a really huge difference with the passé simple in French, because before your explanation. I would have understood this really differently. I've been married for 5 years, but it's okay now.
Okay, well, I'm glad it's much clearer for you now. And yes, this tense in English, the present perfect, it's quite different to le passé composé, right? So you do need to be careful with it sometimes. I know it's the same structure, so to speak, le sujet, avoir, or être, participe passé, but yeah, you do need to be careful with it. Okay, so thank you for bringing.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, anytime. Do we have any other questions? Any queries, comments, anything at all? Oh, Amuma, thank you so much. You are wonderful. Letitia, thank you for the comments. Pierre, the emoji, I appreciate it. Okay. Well, guys, that's pretty much the 30-minute mark there. So if we don't have any questions, I just want to say once again, thank you all for coming today. Barthélemy, we have time for a question. I see your hand up. Yeah. Perfect. Okay. Well, guys, thank you so much for coming. It's been great to see you. As I say, we do have some exercises on the e-learning platform on the present perfect. Feel free to do them. Let us know in the comments if everything is clear. We also have some other conferences. We have one tomorrow. It's all about traveling to and from work, the pros and cons. It's with my colleague Elizabeth. And I also have another conference next week talking about your favorite films. Okay, so it will be suitable for a B1 level and above. Okay, so have a good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming, and I'll see you next time. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, and just stop sharing the screen there. Thanks, everyone. Okay.
Thanks.
Yes.